I'm standing in front of the Keats House, just 4 miles outside of London, where John Keats lived for 2 years. He moved in 1817, and it was here that he met Fanny Brawne, his fiancée, and it was here that he wrote most of his celebrated odes and poetry. And oftentimes he would go down behind the house and listen to the enchanting Nightingale, and which inspired him to write this poem. My heart aches, and a drowsy numbness pains my sense, as though of hemlock I had drunk, or emptied some dull opiate to the drains 1 minute past, and leave the words had sunk. 'Tis not through envy of thy happy lot, but being too happy in thine happiness, that thou, light-winged dryad of the trees, in some melodious plot of beech and green and shadows numberless, singest of summer in full throated ease. Oh, for a draught of vintage that hath been, cooled a long age in the deep delve of earth, tasting of flora and the country king, dance in provincial song and sunburnt mirth. Oh, for a beaker full of the warm south, full of the true, the blushful hippocrene, with beaded bubbles winking at the brim and purple-stained mouth, that I might drink and leave this world unseen, and with thee fade away into the forest dim. Fade far away, dissolve, and quite forget, but thou amongst the least hast never known the weariness, the fever, and the fret, here where men sit and hear each other groan, where palsy shakes a few sad last grey hairs, where youth grows pale and spectre thin and dies, where but to think is to be full of sorrow and leaden-eyed despair, where beauty cannot keep her lustrous eyes, or new love pineth them beyond. Away, away, for I will fly to thee, not charioted by Bacchus on his pards, but on the viewless wings of poesy, though the dull brain perplexes and retards. Already with thee, tender is the night, and haply the queen moon is on her throne, clustered around by all her starry shades. But here there is no light, save what from heaven is with the breezes blown through verdurous greens and winding mossy roads. I cannot see what flowers are at my feet, nor what soft incense hangs upon the boughs, but in the embalmed darkness guess each sweet, wherewith the seasonable month endows the grass that thicket in the fruit tree wild, white hawthorn and pastoral eglantine, fast fading violets covered up in leaves, and mid-May's eldest child, the coming musk rose, full of dewy wine, the murmurous haunt of flies on summer eves. Darkling, I listen, and for many a times I have been half in love with easeful death, called him soft names in many amusement rhyme, to take into the air my quiet breath. Now more than ever seems it rich to die, to cease upon the midnight with no pain, while thou art pouring forth thy soul abroad in such an ecstasy, still which thou sing, and I have ears in vain to thy high requiem become a sob. Thou wast not made for death, immortal bird, no hungry generations tread thee down. The voice I hear this passing night was heard in ancient time by emperor and clown, perhaps the self-same song that found a path through the sad heart of Ruth, when, sick for home, she stood in tears amid the alien corn. The same that oft times have charmed magic casements opening on the foam of perilous seas and fairy lands forlorn. Forlorn, the very word is like a bell to toll me back from thee to my soul's self. Adieu, the fancy cannot cheat so well as she is famed to do, deceiving elf. Adieu, adieu, thy plaintive anthem fades, past the near meadow, over the still stream, up the hillside, and now 'tis buried deep in the next valley. Was it a vision or a waking dream? Fled is that music. Do I wake or sleep?